10.87 seconds? That is what Gyulai and Alfred ran in Budapest. On paper, it looks like a comfortable win. An Olympic champion doing what Olympic champions do. But here is the number that actually tells the story. At the 40-meter mark, Alfred was not leading. Clayton was. So why did the faster starter lose? And what does Alfred do technically that makes her essentially uncatchable once the race opens up? By the end of this breakdown, you will see it frame by frame. The 2026 Gyulai Memorial in Budapest assembled one of the strongest women's 100-meter fields of the European summer circuit. Alfred, the reigning Olympic champion. Clayton, one of the quickest starters in the world. Thompson-Herah, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, trying to rebuild after a brutal injury stretch. Lyston, quietly consistent all season. Sturgis, carrying a personal best that put her inside the top 5 performers in the world this year. 9 athletes, 1 track, and a race that played out almost exactly the way biomechanics would predict, if you know where to look. The strangest part of Alfred's dominance is how unremarkable she looks in the opening meters. She does not explode. She does not lunge. She executes. Clayton's reaction time off the blocks was estimated at around 0.128 seconds, sharp, close to elite threshold. She drove low and hard, generating maximum horizontal force through the first 20 meters. By 30 meters, she held a visible margin. Alfred's block clearance was slightly more conservative, closer to 0.148 seconds. On paper, that is a losing start. In practice, it does not matter, because the race does not end at 30 meters. Here's what most people assume about sprint mechanics. The athlete who accelerates fastest wins. The evidence says otherwise. Elite sprinting at 100 meters has 3 distinct phases: acceleration, top speed attainment, and speed maintenance. Clayton dominated phase 1. Alfred dominated phases 2 and 3 simultaneously, and that combination is exceptionally rare. Alfred's transition from drive phase into upright mechanics happens between 30 and 45 meters. Most sprinters lose efficiency during this window. The body is rising, stride frequency is adjusting, and any tension in the hips or shoulders costs speed. Alfred's transition is technically close to flawless. Her hips stay high, her arm mechanics remain compact and rhythmic, and she does not break through her foot contact. Estimated ground contact time in her top speed phase runs around 0.085 seconds per step, almost no time on the ground, and every contact is propulsive rather than braking. At 50 meters, Alfred reaches a peak velocity in the range of 10.6 to 10.8 meters per second. Clayton, despite her superior early position, peaks slightly lower and earlier. That gap, small as it sounds, decides the back half of the race. So here's the question the numbers raise. If Clayton is one of the fastest starters in world sprinting, why can she not hold on? Put yourself in her position. You have done everything right through 40 meters. You have built a lead. But the athlete behind you is closing not because she accelerated harder. She is closing because she is decelerating slower. That is a fundamentally different problem, and one of the hardest things to train. Speed maintenance from 60 to 100 meters is where championships are decided. Every sprinter decelerates across the final third of the race. Phosphocreatine stores deplete, and neuromuscular fatigue accumulates, and there is no way around it. What separates elite from exceptional is the rate of that deceleration. Alfred's estimated velocity loss from peak speed to the finish line runs at approximately 0.04 to 0.06 meters per second per 10-meter segment. Clayton's loss is steeper. The gap at the finish, 0.10 seconds between first and second, comes entirely from that difference in the back half. Thompson-Herah finished 4th in 11.04 seconds, and that result deserves more attention than it got. 12 months ago, she was not competitive at this level. Her acceleration phase in Budapest looked noticeably sharper than her earlier 2026 appearances. Ground contact under 0.092 seconds in the drive phase, and her hip extension in the first 30 meters approached the angles she was hitting during her peak years. She did not close the gap to Alfred or Clayton. But the trajectory is measurable, and anyone watching closely saw something real. Thompson-Herah is rebuilding her race from the ground up, And she is doing it correctly. Brianna Lyston ran 11.01 for third and completed a day of exceptional Jamaican depth. 3 athletes from one federation inside the top 4. Lyston's race was technically conservative. No major peaks, no visible errors, consistent stride frequency, estimated at 4.85 steps per second through the final 30 meters. She did not try to outsprint anyone. She maintained. Against a field this deep, that discipline alone is worth studying. Here's what this race teaches about 100-meter sprinting. The hierarchy at the finish line almost never matches the hierarchy at 30 meters. Athletes who peak early tend to lose. Athletes who transition efficiently and hold top-end velocity late tend to win. Alfred's advantage is not some abstract quality. It is a specific set of mechanical efficiencies. Compact arm drive, high hip position, minimal braking force at foot contact, short ground contact duration. These are learnable. They are not innate. What to watch for in any future 100-meter final? Ignore the first 30 meters as a predictor. Watch the transition zone around 40 to 50 meters instead. The athlete who rises into upright mechanics most smoothly, without any visible checking or stiffening, is almost always the athlete crossing the line first. Alfred won in 10.87. Clayton ran 10.97. Thompson-Herah ran 11.04. The numbers are clean. But the mechanism behind them, the way Alfred's deceleration curve bends flatter than anyone else in the race, is what makes this result worth studying, rather than just watching. As the championship season approaches later this year, the athletes in today's field will meet again on bigger stages. Now you know exactly what to watch for when they do. If you want to understand how sprint mechanics change across different track surfaces and conditions, that breakdown is next. Subscribe so you do not miss it, and drop a comment below. Which phase of a 100-meter race do you think is most undertrained at the elite level? The acceleration, the transition, or the maintenance?